Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. If you're new, do subscribe, and thanks to all returning subscribers. On today's tutorial, I'll be talking on how to make this beautiful piece I'm putting on. We're starting off with the skirt first, the pencil skirt. Hi, welcome back. We'll talk on how to make this beautiful doll. Stay tuned, guys. Love you. So now we'll be talking on how to make just a skirt using this. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to be marking is I want to use this and cut both the front and the back. Alright, so I'll be marking 1.5 inch here inside for my zipper allowance. Alright. This spacing here is my zip allowance, and this is the full length of my skirt. Alright, I'm using the full of this paper for my skirt. So now the next thing I'm going to be marking is my waist measurement. So my waist measurement is 28, quarter of it is 7, which is here. Then I'll be adding 1.5 inches seam allowance. You can decide to add 2 inches. But I'm working with 1.5 inches. Then I'll place my tape back to my start point and mark 9 inches. The 9 inches is where my hip measurement will be. My hip measurement is 36, sorry, the quarter of it is 9 plus 1.5 seam allowance. Then I'm going to connect it from here. Then here I'm going to be marking, curving it in this way. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing properly. Excuse me. I'm working with this. So this is the one I'm working with. So this is what my skirt looks like. This now is my zip. Alright, then we'll now cut. So now I'll be transferring this to my fabric. Alright, so for my back, this is how it's going to be. Then for my front, all I have to do is I'm going to fold in this zip allowance and place it on my fabric and cut it out, which I will do now. So I folded it in. So this is what my front piece is going to look like. I'll use this to cut to my front piece. This is my pattern paper I've drafted. Alright, so I'll just place it on top of my fabric this way. So I'm cutting the back piece first, and I'm going to trace it out. So this is what I have for the back. I'm going to notch this in. Remember, the length of the skirt totally depends on you. You can decide to make it short, you can decide to make it longer. Alright, so now to cut the front, what I have to do is I'm going to fold in this my zipper allowance. I'm going to fold it in. So I'll be using this in my front and I'll cut it. So this is my front. Then I'll be using these materials to cut out my lining. So this is my front skirt, the front piece of my skirt, and this is my lining. Alright, so what I'll be doing is I'm going to place it on top this way. So this is my right side. Right side will be facing the right side. Now, if you look closely, you see that I left the material is longer than the lining with few inches. Let me just say 1 inch, half an inch, or 0.75 inches. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a stitch here. Then I'm also going to run a stitch by the side, two sides, alright? Then I'll turn it out from the opening. Then this is my back piece. Alright, so this is my back piece. And this is one of the lining. So now I'm going to first of all close down this down part. Alright, then I'll close the two sides, both this side and the zipper allowance. Then I'll do the same thing to this piece, this other piece of the back. So this is it after joining it. Okay. So the next thing I'll be doing now is I'm going to be marking my shaping lines. Alright, so now I'm going to place my tape back at my start point. And I'm going to mark 9 inches. This is where my hip is going to be. This is my center. So I'll start with the waist measurements first. The waist measurement is 7 inches. That's quarter of my waist. I'll mark it on both sides, 7 inches. Then coming to my hip measurements, I have 9 inches. I also mark it here. I'll mark it here. Then I'm going to connect it, the both of them together. Alright, then I'll connect this to this, down to this point. Alright, now I'm going to flip it this way. Then I'm going to bring this is my back piece. Alright, I'm going to place it on it. Then I'm going to run a stitch here. I'll also do the same thing for the other parts. So I'm done stitching on my shaping allowance. Alright, I'm done stitching on it. So the next thing I'm going to be marking is my zip, where my zip is going to stop. Alright, so I'm marking 10 inches. You can decide to work with 11. I'm working with 10 inches. That's how deep I want my zip to stop. I want it to stop here. Then from this bottom part of the skirt, that's the base of the skirt, the hemline, I'm going to be marking 7 inches upwards. Alright, so this is my 7 inches. This is going to be my slit allowance. Here is going to be my slit is going to be. Then I'll be marking 1 inch or half an inch. I'll be marking 0.75 inches. So I'm going to run a stitch here and close it up. Alright, then this is going to be my slit allowance, the provision for my slit, and this side is going to be for my zip. Now this is what I have. This is what the slit looks like. Alright, so I'm going to be keeping this aside. Then now we're going to be working on the band. Alright, because it's going to have a band. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure my waist. I have here. So I have about 31 inches band. Alright, so I'm going to cut a band that is going to be 31 inches long and it's going to be 2 inches on a fold. So this is what my band looks like. So I'm going to trim it so it will be of equal sizes. So this one I have. Alright. Then I'm going to bring my skirt. This is my skirt. So now I'm planning on weaving the this part of my skirt. Alright, so that's why if I'm not weaving it, that means I have to like pull this inside. So but I want to weave this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run a stitch, join these two together, my band and my skirt, tip of my skirt together, and run a stitch up to the other end before fixing my zip.